Yo, what's good, John? You already know you made Kelly V in the place to be. You tuned into 104.5 to meet the weekend wave. Dope conversations with dope people. We got the man himself, the legend. You see him right there, man. That mug right there. Donnell Rawlings in the building. Day, aka Des, aka everything, man. Welcome to the weekend
AKA,
wave, bro.
AKA Interrupter, AKA Central Comedian, AKA I'm Rich, bitch, AKA Oscar performance on an Oscar-winning animation film, AKA
Oh my
Netflix
God.
special coming, AKA the Donnell Rawlings Show podcast, AKA all KAs, son.
AKA Hustler, man. Donnell Rawlings in the building, brother. Number one, thank you for coming through. You feel me? For taking your time out. You're gonna be out here in Orlando. Actually, when this airs, it's gonna be tomorrow. So you're gonna be here tomorrow. You feel me? But right now, we gotta have real talk. I want to give you flowers real quick. Listen, you've been in the game for quite some time, since like the early '90s. You know what I mean? Doing your thing, working, and you still here, my brother. You know what I mean? I just want to give you your flowers for that. Congrats, man. We messed with you over here in Orlando.
I appreciate that. I always had a lot of love for Orlando. It wasn't early 90s, it was the late 90s, but I'll take that. But I appreciate you acknowledging the fact that I have been in the game for a long time. And, and I wear it like a badge because when I first started, a lot of the comedians that started with me, like selling insurance and doing a lot of other things. So to be able to create a lifestyle for yourself for over a quarter of a century, I really appreciate it. And that's due to the people that's followed me and the fans that I've come to learn and know over the last 25 years.
Absolutely. And even just, ingratiating yourself with the culture. Of course, Chappelle Show was a major part of just culture that we have right now, especially someone like myself who's like in the eighth grade
Right.
screaming, I'm rich, biatch. You feel
Okay.
me? And here we are all these years later, sitting down having this conversation, man. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
You know what? It's a test of like how dope a show is when, and I hear this a lot of times I go places, people like, I grew up off you. And these same people got kids that are 3 and 4 years old, right?
Hmm.
So, no matter what anybody want to say how long ago that show was, it was a part of television history, it was a part of comedy history. And like you said, you were in the eighth grade and now you're an adult making a way for yourself and you're still a fan of what we did like some 17 years ago.
Absolutely. And not even that, just a fan of you now, you understand? Because now you being where you at, you are, opening yourself up to all the other people who were younger than myself. Like I said, I was in the eighth grade when that first came out. But at the end of the day, you are reintroducing yourself to a new crowd and you continue to work. You feel me? Now,
But I
when it
never
comes
show
to,
that's the you hear this word all the time, right? A lot of older comedians or people that's been in business, they hear this word and they get nervous about it. They be like, are you relevant? Are you relevant? And to be able, like I say, for 30 years to be able to maintain a career and to be able to reach out and still be funny or interesting to the younger people coming up, that's a testament of somebody that knows their craft and never stops getting better, never stops changing with the time and evolving. And again, a lot of people can't can't and haven't done that. You know.
right. And I heard you say somewhere, and it rings true, especially for comedians. You said comedians live off energy, right? And
Yeah.
of course, we're coming off this pandemic. How did this loss of energy affect your creativity?
I never lost the energy. And the funny thing about it was once the pandemic hit, my creativity went to the next level
Mm.
because it was the first time in my career that I realized that I was unemployed. So I had to make a conscious effort to try to do something to keep money coming in, to stay relevant, and I had to pivot. And I started getting more into my entrepreneur spirit. If you go to DonnellRawlings.com, you see I have a list of products. I have some dope lotion, I have candles, I have
Yes, sir.
coffee. I got a lot of other stuff, but it made me want to go dig deeper than what the average comic or person in my business was doing. A lot of people threw the towel in. A lot of people thought they didn't have a way, and it just gave up. But I was like, my mother always told me, "What don't kill you makes you stronger," and you have to find a way. It was a perfect opportunity for people to say, "I don't know what to do." It was a perfect opportunity for people to make excuses. And in life, you got two excuses. You got a good excuse and a bad excuse. But at the end of the day, they're both excuses. So the
Boom.
people that made it through are the people that had to dig deep. It was easy to say, I can't perform anywhere. It was easy to say, I don't feel creative. But again, and I don't want to keep repeating myself, but the real ones are the ones that can persevere through any situation. I found a way to do it.
Absolutely. Doing it in spades too. Now, to follow up with that, you said that you never lost the creativity. As a matter of fact, you grew. Your creativity grew. You know what I mean? Found different avenues. Now, when it just comes to comedy as a whole through the pandemic, like you said, everything shut down. How did that affect just the scene as a whole?
Well, it completely halted the scene. You know what I'm saying? But I was lucky enough that Dave Chappelle being one of my closest friends, I was lucky enough to be a part of a group that created an outdoor venue in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to my good friend Stacy, who had a pavilion that basically we tricked out and made it an outdoor comedy club. Everybody didn't have access to that. Everybody didn't have the money to be able to do something like that. When I say that, I mean Dave spent over 300 grand over the summer just testing people to make sure this was only on testing. It had nothing to do with production, had nothing to do with nobody on the show was getting paid. We was doing it for love, but we was creating a sense of hope for people. So many times we did that show where people said, I hadn't been out in a couple of months. I didn't know when I was going to laugh again. And we created that environment. I know that wasn't the case for everybody else. And I was blessed again enough to be with somebody that could create that atmosphere. I think when the pandemic first hit, we probably only missed 1 or 2 months of performing before we were back at it. These
Right.
situations wasn't for everybody, but man, I tell you one thing about the pandemic, it made people realize what's more important in life. And it made you stop sweating the petty stuff. People, we take for granted waking up, breathing,
Right.
clean air, being able to go outside, being able to hug your kids. We took for granted the fact that we took for granted like play dates with kids. It was tough on kids last year. It was tough on family. Thank God that we're finally coming out of it. There's still some concern and we still need to take the precautions. But it was a trying time, bruh, for everybody, man. Nobody knew what they was going to do. And a lot of questions people ask me like, well, Donnell, how did you feel about not having stage time? But I've been a road comic for so long. When I say that, I mean like 40, 43 weekends a year that I traded road time in for family time, for son
Right.
time. And that's why I never felt not telling jokes. The time that I got with my son, the first 3 months of the pandemic was the first time that I was with him every day he's 5 from his life. And I took advantage of that. I felt good about that. I found the positive things out of a tragic situation and made them work for me.
And you got to. I seen a clip from your podcast and you were talking about how important it is just to be a good father, period. And you was talking about how just something little, such as taking your kid to the car wash. You're like, yo, my father didn't do that with me. So it's important for me to do that with him. And even though he may not have seen it at the time, once he got to the car wash, like it was a good time.
And my father, I love my father, RIP. But my father chose a lifestyle which didn't give him an opportunity to spend as much time as his kids probably wanted. He
Right.
was in the streets. And like one thing about, and I had my son at an older age, bro. One thing about it, I said, I'm not going to lose no memories. I'm going to try to make everything a memory. And I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't give a shit. You got to be, damn it, I did it twice. You can edit it. But, I hate when men, well, I don't call them men that make excuses about the time they put in with their kids. I hate guys that always make it seem like you got to have this money, you got to have this. All you got to do is have time, bro. Like you
Absolutely.
saw on my Instagram, it cost me. Yes, I could have somebody custom wash and detail my car. Yes, I could get that service. But the fact that I could create an adventure with my son, and then the simple as him holding the water hose and trying to squirt me, man, he's gonna remember that for the rest of his life, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
and and I want to shout out, and I know I'm talking about dads, but I want to shout out all the moms right now before Mother's Day that fill that role of being mom and dad. I love y'all.
Absolutely.
I respect y'all. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we got so many women now that can celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yes,
And the
sir.
fellas that's listening to this right now, we got to stop that, man. We got to stop making excuses with baby moms and all this drama, whatever. Suck it up. My relationship with my baby mother is not the greatest relationship. Sometimes I got to get into my meditation mode and say, forget me, forget her. What
Hmm.
is best for this kid?
Yes, sir.
And you always got to keep, well, she don't let him see. Keep going. Never give up. You can never give up on trying to create those memories with your kid. That's point blank. I know some people, some rich people, they have all the money in the world, don't put the time in with their kids. And I don't think they're good dads. Also know some dads that don't have a pot to piss in, but the same dads would catch 3 buses and transfer to take the kid to a football game.
Absolutely.
Me personally,
That's what it's about.
me personally, I'm not doing that for my son. If he don't start, I'm not getting on the bus, son.
He said, listen, don't waste my time. I'm not gonna waste yours or
yo,
mine,
yo,
son. All right.
go play chess or something, son. We ain't got time for this. You not athletic, son. Don't do it.
Go paint.
Yeah, go paint, man. Go play chess. Go do some of that Wards and Lords, whatever that game stuff is. But go do that. But you had the same jersey for 2 years, son. You give it up.
So listen, you've been riding the bench for like 3.5 years. It's time to give it up. But
Yep.
listen, to go back to what you were saying before, just y'all, hosting everything like those comedy shows over at Dave's area over there in Ohio, right?
Yeah.
I believe y'all were like the first ones to really hold a public event, any sort of public event after the fact. So just the fact that it was tested and it worked, and it's been going for quite some time since then. Y'all deserve y'all flowers for that too, man, because y'all started what happened, which means that a whole bunch of stuff blossomed. Live events started coming back slowly but surely because of y'all.
And another thing I want to add to that, man, I'm glad you acknowledged that, but we weren't perfect, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't perfect. We tried to be perfect. And last summer, we did 46 shows. We was trying to hit 50. The summer's over. And Dave added some more shows. And it was that last week that we had that our bubble got bursted. After 3 months, the bubble got bursted, right? And we was fortunate. This is why I really love and respect Dave so much, because we had one of our close people tested positive COVID one day. Same day, 2 people. The second day, 3 people. The third day, 2 people. And the day that it was supposed to be an outbreak, everybody started testing negative. And the reason why that happened was because once the bubble was burst, we didn't do like what Trump did, which was not tell America what's going on. We let everybody know. We isolated. Everybody went to quarantine that had got the virus, and we did the responsible thing while we was trying to give people better life. So I don't want anybody to believe that it was perfect. We did it with no hiccups or anything. And in that moment, and this is why I say Dave is a future leader, because when everybody was chaotic, when everybody was stressed out, and I was like, oh man, we got so close. Dave looked at me, he said, Donnell, he said, don't take away the efforts we put in. He said, this is the reason why we test. So we can know, so we can address it, so we can do the right thing. And that was a very responsible thing for him to say, very responsible thing for him to do. And the type of person that he is, and like all I kept on saying all summer, and people say, why you always talk about Dave? He's one of my closest friends. Bottom line, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? We have experience. It's not like we just work together. We go to funerals together. We go to weddings together. We go to baby showers together. We travel for families. We share love, And I would every day, almost every other day of the summer, I would say, Dave, you saved the summer. And he could have been like, yeah, I did. But he said, no, we saved the summer.
Boom.
And that's the type of energy that he has. That's the type of energy that I have. And that's how the type of energy that the people that we surround ourselves have.
Absolutely. And you guys have it in spades, man. Like, to me, he's the GOAT. There's nothing, I don't like, you think of all the incredible comedians that we've had on this earth that has come and gone. Like Dave, he's just a different animal, man. And hopefully, I continue to do what I do so I get to a platform that I can actually like converse with him. But like all of y'all together, the energy, he wouldn't be where he's at now without y'all. And he tells y'all and actively lets you know exactly what the vibes are when it comes to that. And that's important. That's very important.
It's important. This is for the trolls. The trolls out here, they want to say, Donnell, you wouldn't have been so-and-so without Dave Chappelle. But answer this question, bro. Answer this question. Remove me from that show. Any soundbite or anything, move me to that show. The show would have still been successful, but I made an impact. And there's another thing people understand is that we weren't hired as cast members. You were only as good as your last sketch. When you did that show, you got on again if you ripped. And there were some people that came through that didn't rip. And then as you started building a reputation, and then they started trusting us, they started writing stuff. So every time that I was on that show, I always performed as if I was never going to be on that show again. I didn't take anything for granted. I didn't take for granted that I had coined the phrase, I'm rich, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I take nothing of that for granted. I always said, keep giving yourself opportunities to win. And since the show, before the show, it just so happened that that was one of the most iconic shows in the history of television. You can't compete with that. And I've done major things before the Chappelle show. And after the Chappelle show, I still kept going. If you're a fan of mine, You will know. You will know HBO The Wire. You will know HBO Corner. You will know when I first started Ricky Lake. You would know Guy Code. You would know Netflix, Degenerates. You would know. You would know. You would know Law and Order. You would know all
Word.
of this stuff. It
Word.
just so happened that this was the one show that everybody watched, and everybody got to see me do my thing in one place.
Correct. And now, like you think about it, you got another one, man. So listen, that look must have been incredible. How was it, getting ready for that role as opposed to any other role? Because you not even on the camera, it's just your voice, you feel me?
It was probably the most non-prepared role I ever had. The funny thing about it was I didn't even audition for that role.
Oh, word? They pulled up on you like, listen, I think this fits
It
right
was
for
like
you.
the best thing an actor wants to hear is, we got an offer for you. Not no audition, we got an offer. And I'm thinking it was Kim Powers. Kim Powers, the black producer and writer. Shout out to Kim Powers, because he's the one that the scene I was in, the barbershop scene, that scene wasn't on the original script. He had a epiphany or whatever late at night, said we needed something to attach the streets, the hood to it. He wrote that scene, right? I did not audition. I came in there, I banged it out, and it's not just me saying it. It was like a pivotal and one of the most important scenes in a movie that won
Yeah.
an Academy Award.
Crazy, man. Crazy. So first of all, I know you said that we have something for you, right? We got an offer. Did you know this was Pixar? Did you know anything behind the scenes, or did you just get that? And then once you found out, you were like, oh,
No, I
this is
knew it.
that
I knew it
thing.
was Pixar. I knew it was Pixar. But I didn't know how big the film was going to be. They was like, my agent was like, yo, we got an offer for Pixar. I was like, what? When the audition said, no, they want you. And it was like, but I'm gonna
Ooh.
tell you, the best thing for me, bro, this is some real stuff. They invited my entire family to the Pixar headquarters, right? To for me to do the recording, right? It was like, oh, your son would love it. And at the time, Incredibles was popping then, right? So I'm in there with Dana Murray, I'm in there with Pete Doctor, and Kim Powers. Those are the three people that they acknowledged when we won an Oscar. But so I'm walking around, and they're basically telling me like, do you know how huge this film is going to be, right?
Mhm.
They look at me like, do you like this is going to be huge? And only this is how much I love my son. The only thing I kept on saying to myself was, my son is going to lose his mind when he come in here, son. I didn't care nothing about being in a movie that streamed 2 billion times. I was like, my son is going to show he ain't got no home training. As soon as he come in here, right, son?
Gonna
As soon
start
as
acting up.
he acted up. He ran through. He thought he was Dash. He was jumping on original Walt Disney furniture and everything. But man, it doesn't matter what I do in life, my career, man. The thing I care about the most is leaving an impression on him and giving him the best experience of his life. And he didn't even really know how big the movie. In fact, I had a screener of the movie before it came out. They were sending it out to the people who are in it. No, check it out.
Right.
So I had a little party with my son and some of his closest friends, and we set up a night. We did a movie night where we made a ticket booth. We had popcorn. We was giving it an experience, right? And it was this movie they knew nothing about, and we playing a movie, and they're kind of into it. They didn't really wasn't getting it at first, and then I made a mistake. I ordered some Happy Meals, right? Man, once the Happy Meals came, I've got the Happy Meals came right when my scene was coming up, and they
It was
looked at me
over.
like, man, they missed my whole scene. But my son is a YouTube guy, so
You
at
can't
the
even
time,
point it out to him either. Like, yo, that's you're not
but you know
even.
how I hit them when Disney Pixar started promoting something. Maybe like 2 months after that, son, it started billboards, pop, pop, McDonald's Happy Meals, pop, pop, on YouTube. Like, it was no way. He was like, Daddy, I saw Soul. I saw Soul. Daddy, I want a Happy Meal. I want a Happy Meal. I want a Happy Meal. And the funniest thing, my son is so cute, man. He said, one day, I called him. He said, Daddy, uh, today is not a good day. I said, why? He said, I'm not happy about my Happy Meal, right? And I said, why not? He said, because it doesn't have any soul tolls in it. How can I be happy if you ain't in the Happy Meal? I was like, I love you, boy.
Real. That's real. He said, listen, my pops ain't in it. I don't want it. You are. And also you think about it, because it was on Twitter, Instagram, all crazy when Soul first came out. Like, your character is really, and it's the reason why he wrote into the scene, right? He looks like he's from the culture, you know what I mean? He got the
Right.
beard, he's chilling there. He's just a regular dude from where we come from. And that's very rare when it comes to a Pixar
A
movie. And
Pixar
that's
film.
you.
And like, and no, not knocking no white people or anything like that. But
You can knock them. No, I'm
no,
just-
no, 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 no. I'm just saying, when it comes to the barber, it's different between a white barbershop and a black barbershop. You know what I'm
correct.
saying? You know, black barbershop, you go there to get deals on CD players and all that type of stuff. You go to find out what's popping, the latest fashion. You go in there to roast and everything. White dudes just go in there to get their haircut and they leave. A little off the
In
top,
house.
we're gone. You know, but it's like, and that is like our melting pot. That is where we go. And that's like, for me, when I had my son, bro, because I didn't know if I was gonna have kids. One of the biggest days, I could not wait to take my son to daggone barbershop, son. I could not wait to say, that's Lil. I could not wait for them to say, that's Lil man. Yo, it meant so much to me, bro. And then my experience, when the first job I ever had, I used to be, you know, every barbershop has that one kid that sweeps up the hair and makes the run to the store. That was my job. So for me to be able to have that experience with my son in a barbershop and then to reinforce it as a character from a barbershop, man, it's like, it was a win.
It's like full circle. That's full circle right there.
Yep.
I love that, man. And also, let's get into the podcast, because I think it's very dope. I wanted to ask you when it comes to podcasting and stand up, because there's a lot of differences, but a lot of things that come together like this, and you do it pretty well on your show. Did it take you a while to like find a happy medium between those two?
No, it took me like when I first did the podcast, I didn't want to do it because I was like, I'm not begging people to be on a podcast. I originally want to do a podcast with just myself because I just don't call favors and stuff. And then I tried the first time I ever tried it, it didn't go well. I quit in 15 minutes. And the dude was like, you can't quit. I was like, what do you mean? Whose podcast is it? He said, it's yours. I said, then I quit. And you're fired for telling me I can't quit. But you know,
So I'll walk out. You don't know what I do. This is what I do.
right. But it was like, you know, I had to learn how to, you know, be a better interviewer, to listen, because I'm usually a person, I am the interrupter, you know. I do like to talk. I'm always talking, but I had to learn how to let the
I
conversation
can see.
breathe. You know what I mean? Let them breathe. You got jokes too, so. But I had to,
Got him.
I had to get a, I had to get a, do what's called, what's the name of them still work up that station?
I don't know what you call it is.
These nuts. I got you. Don't play with me, son. Don't play with me, son. Back to back. We can do it, son.
See, he had to do it. He's like, wait a second.
Pause.
Let me come back real quick.
Pause. No Charlemagne. Pause. No
It's
Charlemagne.
okay. It's okay. We're not gonna do that right now. Continue.
No, but it just took, like, I'm a natural talker, a storyteller. So it took maybe a couple episodes before, like maybe a month before I started really getting into the flow. But the only thing, and I was talking to people before I started, and it's like, yo, podcast, you don't have to take it so serious because they're gonna rock with you. They want to see the failures. They want to see
Right.
the ones that aren't good. And it's always room to grow. And I think that every episode that I do, I grow as a podcaster and I grow as a person that can captivate an audience and maintain a conversation for an hour or plus.
Absolutely, man. And that even works, just being in front of the camera, being on the mic and all that, they go hand in hand, like I said, stand up and podcasting. Now we know that like you was on Wild and Now, you were on the season finale, you going in and out. How was that process, like just being a cast member? Do you like, is there anything different, or you just come in, I'm Donnell and I'm gonna just wild out?
I mean, I just like, after the years, I know how to do television. You know, like when I went in there, I didn't care about winning or anything. I just cared about having fun. You know, I wasn't like a guy to think this is going to be a career move for me. But the fact that the theme was old school versus new school, it was an opportunity to let a younger group of people see what I do. And I didn't have no. It was just fun, man. Like to reconnect with my guy Michael Blackson and Peter Guns, and to see Peter Guns up there with his son. We didn't
Fire.
take it that serious, but at the same time, we wanted to have fun. So that was just. It was cool. I was excited when they said we got Wild and Out. I was like, that's dope. And another thing that made me feel good is that show is like on 18 seasons, man. And as much as I don't care what nobody want to say about Nick Cannon, their personal appearance, but personal experiences of him. But when I drove onto Tyler Perry Studios and I saw the magnitude that will leave you, your jaws will be on the ground. And I realized that I'm going into this black studio and I'm about to be on a show that a black dude created and giving people an opportunity. I was like, it's a win-win, bro. Everybody
Yes, sir.
wins, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to pivot a little bit, man, it's a it's the grand reopening, all right, of Caroline's going down Broadway Memorial Day weekend, man. Like, how excited are you for that, man? I'm pretty sure the whole place is gonna be packed by then.
It's like one of my favorite clubs to work. They're one of the people that started me working that club at a young age. And as I stack my resume up, they continue to give me more money. They've always treated me fair. New York is coming back to life right now. That's probably one of the one of the best comedy clubs in the city. And the relationship I have with them with the city, it's going to be dope, man. I feel so good to know that, for me to be the guy that they reopen the club says a lot for me, and it says a lot for the relationship I built with them over the years.
Absolutely, absolutely. Real quick, I think your audio kind of like messed up. Mute your mic and then unmute it real quick. See if that works.
Okay, hold on. Okay, can you hear me now?
There we go. Yeah, it fell out just a little bit, but we got you, man. But now I'm excited for that too. You already know, like you said, the pandemic shut everything down when it comes to comedy, but now things are opening back up, man. It's time to get that bag again. And you got more in your arsenal through the pandemic because you stay creative and you continue to work, man. And listen, we were talking about Caroline's. It's going down, man. May 8th, Mother's Day weekend, Majestic Event Center, man. What can the people expect from a Donnell Rawlings show,
let me
man?
tell you something. Let me tell you something. The real thing I'm going to say, I've heard some people talking about the show because sometimes you don't really know the backstory, the history of the place you perform in, right? And I was talking to somebody, and he said, Donnell, you too big for that place. And I was like, what do you mean by that? That's what they said. I was like, what do you mean by that? They said that this is more like, it's like a local venue, like a local venue. I was like, so you telling me it's hood? They were like, yeah. I said, I can't wait to get up into that bitch, son.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you, son. And the reason why it meant so much, because, I do work some of the dopest venues, whatever. But I love giving back, son, to those venues that I started. I'll never forget them because they were the ones that held me down when nobody messed with me. Boom. When the Carolina Broadways wasn't messing with me, when all these prestigious spots wasn't messing with me, it was the hood spots. It was the street promoters. It was the hood promoters that kept me alive. So, I'm not begging for people to come. I think our ticket sales are doing well. But if y'all want to see a real nigga in a real environment on some real shit, bleep out the profanity, it is going down. And it's like one of the most comfortable environments we perform in front of my people that have been through the same experience and share the same feelings as me. We about to turn it up.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Once again, May 8th is going down, Mother's Day weekend, the Majestic Event Center. Tickets on sale now, y'all. Y'all better cop those up if you want to see the man himself right here in the O holding it down. By the way, just to let you know, we ain't shut down like at all. Like Orlando, Miami.
Florida and Atlanta, they don't know nothing about that. They like, y'all back. We ain't never go back. We ain't never leave.
Yo, the crowd's been crazy. Like the baby, like Kodak, a whole bunch of people been out here like the whole time. People like, yo, you still open? Yo, we been open.
They got them antibodies. Just go. Shout out to my girl Koya. She's on, I think, like 10 to 2.
Yes.
Yo, I want to shout out.
Right there.
She's been really pushing my stuff, and we had a great time. She was a part of the experience when we celebrated Angela Yee's birthday in Austin, Texas, and we had the time of our lives. So if the people that listen to her and like her, if they up her and with that energy, I'm so excited about this show. We're gonna rock it.
Listen, they're gonna hold you down, man. Big shouts to Koya, like you said, man. Big mentor, big sis to me, man. Like I didn't even know you was ingratiated with the station like that, man. I love that.
I've been around for a long time, son. I've been around forever.
Listen, I just stopped by here. I don't even work here, man. I just seen the studio was open and I saw this was up. I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna pull up.
Cut you out and just run my stuff, son. We'll win.
Why you think I've been doing this? You see that? I just been putting your mug like that.
There you go, son. Make it happen.
Now listen, 2021, we here. Like I said, everything's opening up. You got any tour days down or anything like that? What can we expect?
I got so many. Before the pandemic hit, we had 20 shows for the Martin Lawrence tour. We got to 2 shows and was shut down. And I just got word from my people that the Martin Lawrence tour is going back up. We're going to be starting that in like September or October, if I'm not mistaken. But the best way to find out anything about me, go to my website, DonnellRawlings.com. That's the correct spell of my name.com. You get the tour dates. I got dope merchandise, some funny stuff, and it's a good thing. That's the place for everything. DonnellRawlings.com.
Perfect, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Y'all go do that. Once again, tickets on sale right now for the Majestic Event Center. Donnell Rawlings, the man himself, right here on the Weekend Wave with your man Kelly V. Man, dope conversations with dope people. We out of here, y'all. We gonna holler at y'all.
I'm rich, bitch.